Hello everyone, have you noticed there is a redundancy going on? And I don't mean redundancy for your job, I mean an electric device redundancy. I bring this up because, for example, I have a laptop. It works well, despite its age. It also looks almost brand new thanks to the people who have always done wonders on my laptop. But apparently that's not enough. Thanks to Windows 11, I'll have to get a new laptop because my current one doesn't support it. Or I can continue using Windows 10 after October. Due to security reasons, that's not really recommended. Now, I have Bitdefender. I consider Bitdefender and Malwarebytes the best. I think I would be alright if I had to. However, the problem is that this is not just a laptop thing. Washing machines are built so that you can't fix them yourself. Mobile phones don't let you control the inner workings anymore. One thing that was nice about a good old dumb phone, as they call it, is that you could take the batteries out, you could remove the SIM, you could examine stuff and you could move things around. What my mum and I used to do with the dumb phones was just swap out the batteries, because sometimes we had the same phone. If one of us was going to be at home, then we charged the other. You can't do that anymore because there's no way, unless you have something to pry your phone open and know what you're doing. Because the phone now resembles a laptop on the inside, it's very difficult to do anything yourself, to fix it yourself. They don't want you to fix it yourself, they want you to have to come to them. And I'm one of those people who loves pulling things apart and putting them back together, even if it's just a pen. I wanted to see how the pen worked. I wanted to see, oh, if I put this here and then I do this, then this will happen. And that's how you put a pen back together. I wasn't just with him. I didn't take people's bikes apart. But even something as simple as a pen, returning to computers, everything is made redundant, even if it's good. This is the computer that I have used for all of my videos. It still works. It is brilliant. The fan works, although it recently needed repairs. The keyboard is still good. The screen resolution is amazing. The computer is in good working order, and that's what annoys me. This has been my computer since I bought it in 2019. It's a good laptop. It still works. It shouldn't have to be replaced. But of course it will, because it doesn't support Windows 11. It can't. It was made in 2013. My computer is the Acer Aspire 5742. It comes with the original i5 chip. That is how old it is. But regardless, it shouldn't have to be replaced if it works. But they're going to make you change it. When I first got an iPhone, I got the iPhone 4 and I got it just as they were bringing out the 5 or the 6. So it didn't have Siri, and I don't mean the 4S, I mean the 4. It was just a phone. I could text, I could download apps, but it was such an old phone. They gave me unlimited data. But either way, the point is, if something works, why should we have to get rid of it just because there's a newer model? We shouldn't. We shouldn't have to do it. It is very annoying, and that's what annoys me about businesses and their motives. I like nature, for example, plants. I like plants because it doesn't matter if there's a bigger orange tree, the smaller orange tree can still produce fruit. Just because there's a big one that you have to use a ladder to climb, it doesn't mean that the small one over there is of no use. Same with livestock. Just because one cow is bigger than the other, it can still make other cows if you put it near a bull long enough. Nature doesn't become redundant. However, you can make electrical products useless. I saw a video about a guy who fixed his washing machine, and he was saying how basically they don't like you doing it anymore because then they don't make the money. If you can fix it yourself, then you don't need them. While they're sitting doing their Scrooge McDuck dive every single day. It's ridiculous. I understand paying monthly for certain things. That's your choice if you want to do that. But we don't. But no one buys anything anymore and owns anything. Last time I remember having an electrical appliance that didn't need constant updates was my Nintendo DSi. You buy the thing, you put a cartridge in, you play it till your battery dies and you recharge it. That's it. And the DSi had internet access and you could get games from it, which, by the way, that shop has expired. They don't use it anymore. I used to like playing Nintendogs. It was offline and everything was there. If you wanted to connect with another player, they had to have the same game, same device, same everything, and be in the same vicinity. These days, everything is about making money. It's ridiculous. Natural things are hard to do that with, but they do it in small ways by making the packet smaller. They say it's because they need to put air into it, make sure that the crisps don't go bad. But there are still ways, because Pringles doesn't do that. Pringles, you open it and it's Pringles all the way to the top, give or take maybe a couple of inches so you can get your fingers in without breaking everything. Food, you can't do this with, but machines, you can. Phones, laptops, iPads, you can do that. You can choose to stop supporting something or slow down the other thing because you want them to buy the latest model. It's ridiculous. There needs to be something done about this. Otherwise, we're never going to own anything. We're going to have beds that wake you up in the morning and they'll tell you that you can't use your alarm clock because the alarm clock app has expired its warranty. It's stupid. I don't like it. I like being able to put my hand on something and say, "This is mine." The idea, as I said, came to me because of my Acer. It's a working computer. It shouldn't have to go anywhere. It's my go-to for stuff. Unfortunately, in this day and age, 8 gigs of RAM is not really going to work fast enough for uploading videos. But it's what I have, and that's why sometimes you'll see that videos are late or things like that. But we need to do something about this. The reason companies are allowed to do this is that they can. They can. I can't drive, but if I did, I don't need a car that automatically has a chauffeur service that opens the door for me and says, "Madame, walk in." No, I don't need that. I don't. What I'd need is a car that would take me from A to B. Would I like to be able to listen to music as I go? Yeah, I would. But it's also not necessary. The main function of a car is to get me from A to B. The function of a phone is to call people. We can still do that. We can still send messages to each other if needed. But all the other extra apps, they make it so difficult that you have to constantly be updating. And if you don't have enough storage, then they can't help you. You have to update, and if you don't, they'll slow down your software until you're fed up that you throw your phone across the room. It'll have a big crack in it, not speaking from experience, and then you'll have to go get another one. I treat my phone like it's gold. I have the world's strongest phone case. Yes, it overheats often if I don't take it off when it charges. But apart from that, that's what I do. I do what I can to make sure that this piece of tech, which costs thousands of pounds to make, and that's why we have to pay it off monthly, this piece of tech, which apparently costs so much money, lasts until it can't anymore. Because that's the whole point. Also, if you don't have a screen protector or a good phone case, you're made of money. I spent about £10 on the case and a pack of tempered glass screen protectors, and I've never had a cracked screen. There are even ways to save it from water damage if you're quick. Oh, and they do screen protectors for laptops as well. Speaking of, I was looking for a new laptop and I had to really look and try and find a computer that had some of the specs of my old computer, including, but not limited to, upward-facing speakers. Apparently, to save money, companies have been putting speakers on the base so that the sound comes out of the bottom of your laptop. Therefore, it sounds muffled and you have to get another piece of kit, headphones, and use that instead. Or put your laptop somewhere in a very weird place so that you can actually hear the speakers. It's ridiculous, and I would settle for no less than what I already have. I have one, even though it's an upward-facing speaker. It sounds pretty good once you get used to it, and it's not too tinny. My laptop has good screen resolution, it is HD, and it does what it needs to. And do you know what? I like the hard drive. I'm sorry, I love the hard drive. I'm from that generation that just loves to use CDs and DVDs. And when my computer went wrong and I had to reset my computer, I didn't have to completely rely on software. If I needed to, there's an emergency hard disk that I can put in and help reset if the software does nothing. That way, I don't lose all my stuff. But I don't know. But I don't know, maybe I really am just getting old and I don't know what I'm talking about. But the things that matter to us, the things that everyone gets excited about, yes, they're made redundant slowly and surely. Then everyone goes, oh, it's lovely. And then it's like, oh, it's going really slow. And it shouldn't be going slow. It shouldn't. With the way they make tech, these chips should last a lifetime. But if they did last a lifetime, they'd never get any business apparently. Even though we pump out human beings every single day, there's always going to be new customers. I need to know what you think. Am I being paranoid? Am I being stupid? Is this something that you've thought about? These days, it seems to be a given that we just change over when it becomes redundant. I was very annoyed at having to change over to a new phone. Yes, I got to keep the old one because no one wants the iPhone 4, but I was very annoyed at having to do that because, as I say, it was a good working phone. It didn't need to be replaced. Yes, I was really happy to have Siri in my life. You know, it's been very helpful, especially when you're a wonky person and you fall a lot. Having someone who can send a text for you to say, hey, I'm kind of like a tortoise right now, could you help me? It helps. Or to have someone who can call the police for you or something. That's handy. I didn't have that on before. The fact is, we don't need to have so much. We wonder why the planet is going to pot. The amount of stuff used to make phones is probably not healthy. The people who have to dig up this stuff so that we can have new iPhones, it's not very healthy. And we know that lithium is not healthy. Think about it. People use it for fun. People use battery acid for fun. Or they give it to people with mental health issues. People with bipolar disorder. The point is, we don't need as much as they're selling us, but we've all been given no choice, like, hey, you don't get updates anymore, so we've made it that even though your phone is good, even though your phone is healthy, even though you have everything going for you and this phone is in pristine condition, it's not safe for you to use anymore. No apps will work, otherwise they'll probably get hacked, etc., etc. It's wrong. I don't like it. Maybe it's my autism speaking and I just don't like change. But to me, I think that if you buy something, even if you walk in and you buy it outright, you should be able to do what you want with your phone. And it should not be made redundant. And you should not have to constantly change just because. That's the one thing about dumb phones. You don't have to constantly change because they're not trying to sell it to you as having 1,000 apps. It's just, hello, can I make a call? Can I send a text message? Maybe I can play Snake on it. That's it. Not to mention, Windows 11 has got rid of WordPad. WordPad, the thing that I use for everything. And I like WordPad because it's free. With Microsoft Word, you have to pay for it. Again, why am I paying to write something? I don't need to. Luckily, there is a website that allows you to go to all the abandoned apps, all the old ones that they got rid of, and just reinstall them. So there's that. But it is annoying because why? It's not necessary. I tell you why they do it. WordPad is free. If you pay for Microsoft Word, you have to pay them monthly or yearly. But either way, you have to pay them money. Money that in a cost of living crisis isn't handy unless you're a millionaire. So it's going to end up going back to how it was when I was little, that you had to be really rich to own smart tech or do without. Now, there are free alternatives that you can get on Microsoft Store, but why? I know WordPad. I trust WordPad. It's good for RTF files, not that I fully understand what those are. Either way, it's trusted, and I like things that I can trust. Anyway, please let me know what you think. Maybe I'm being silly. Maybe I just need to get with the times. Maybe I really am a grandma. I don't know, but tell me what you think in the comments. If you're still here, then you're handsome, and you're beautiful, and you, well, I'm speechless. I'll let you know next time I see you. Over to the pets. Hello all, this is Sylvie. If you liked what you saw, then subscribe for more. Hey everyone, my name's Bonjour. If you enjoyed yourself, then give it a thumbs up and share it with all your friends. Hi everybody, I'm Jack, and if you had fun, then comment down below and let my mum know what piece of old tech you miss.